What's going on? This is Mortar Mike with another video for Watcher of Realms. This one was a video that was near and dear to my heart because I thought that it was important to address. If you have played Raid Shadow Legends before you've played this game, I enjoy it. I think it's cool, and it also got some new content coming out soon. But there is a slight difference between this game and Watcher of Realms, and a lot of people that play Raid are interested in playing Watcher of Realms. And they're like, okay, I don't know how to go about this. I don't know how to make this work. Is it too different a game? Is it too crazy a game? I'm here to help you guys with that. So what I came up with, the top 5 unique things that I think are really great in Watcher of Realms. Now, this isn't the de facto list. This isn't the list of like, hey, this is the end all be all. I'm pretty sure I left some things out that other people think valuable, but this is me playing Raid for 3.5 years, and now I'm playing Watcher of Realms more often. And here's the biggest differences that I've noticed that I thought were really good. So the first one that I think that you want to know getting into Watcher of Realms, besides it being a tower defense game, you still have champs, you still have, you know, comps and whatnot, is you want to spend your gems and your energy as early as possible when you first start playing. Stockpiling is not useful in the beginning of the game. This game is all about team comps. So there's very few like solo everything champs early game. So pull your summons, you got shards, burn them, use them. If you want to wait to the weekend for like 2x's or 10x's and stuff, those are good. But I'm telling you now, you can have an amazing champion and they can't hold the gate. They can't stop enemies from walking right past them. So it's good to get a bunch of champions early that allows you to make some cool comps for you to beat the content, because you do have to have some organization. The teams have to work well together. That's number one, spend gems, energy ASAP, and add more into that. The reason why I say spend the summons, because the 10x's actually matter in this game. Like, and I came from Raid Shadow Legends. I looked it up at a Yumi Love earlier. There are 240 legendary champions. In Watcher of Realms, there's like 70. Ballpark, around that number. Like, that lets you know just how much easier it is. So there's a 1 in 80 chance. Well, no. It's like an 11 in 80 chance if you're doing a 10x, I would say, compared to like 11 in 240 chance you get one in Raid Shadow Legends. Not the dookie on them, but hey, if you're coming from Raid Shadow Legends, you know what that feels like doing a 10x, and you just like, it's not doing anything. And they're doing like a progressive one now, where if you pull a bunch of stuff, you got a better chance of getting it. That's halfway there. I mean, they're trying to solve a big problem that you inevitably get in these kind of games, which is fine. You can retry content with the same comps nearly unlimited amount of time. This is why I say spend that energy. So you can play a match and say, okay, I'm doing Gear Rate 1. I'm just gonna do a simple auto fight on 19 because I happen to get 19, which is nice. Now this is an auto run, so it doesn't matter. It's running by itself. But let's say I put the wrong champ down. I'm like, oh man, I don't like how that worked out. Put the wrong champ in the wrong place. Okay, I'm gonna mess this up. I could just press restart and do the match again. It costs 0 energy to just restart. Now, I think there's a cost if you lose and restart. I think so. I'm not 100% sure. It might not be a cost either. But think about that. You can have like 20 energy and run the same thing 14 times if you really had to, just to perfect it. And then once you perfect it, okay, no. I forgot to mention something earlier in this video. I'm gonna include an in-game strat also, because there's a lot of people that are getting into this game, but there's people that are watching this video and are like, I want something valuable from me. I've been playing for a few months, so I got you too. But you can literally just restart a match, and you can just restart a match in a heartbeat. It takes a matter of seconds, and you don't have to worry about, oh, I wasted all my energy the 5th time doing a stage I hated. So that's a really good thing about this. Level up your champs quickly. This is still in spend those gems and energy ASAP, because there's just so many opportunities early game. There's a whole section that I've already completed. I think it was like the storyline basically, that gives you free stuff just for playing, like just for beating this level of this, and it's pretty well paced too. I beat it like in the first couple of weeks or so, and it gives you a Lego champ for that, which is great. So this is a big one. This is still spending those gems and energy ASAP, because they have organized the crunching system for like the champs that you get really quickly. Okay, so now I gotta add one more because, okay, I'm gonna do this one, I'm gonna add one more in there because it is a big enough one to mention. But okay, you remember in Raid, you had to pick the champs, level them up, get rid of them, level them up, get rid of them. That is a day job. This is the process in this game. Quick start up. 8 of them done. Here, I got 26 to do. Don't want to use this rare ones, it's fine. Just did 10 more. Just did 10 more. Just did 6 more. And they're just ready. It was that easy. And yeah, a bunch of rewards in a day too. But yeah, that's how quick it is. It is time saving. It's wonderful. But the reason why I said that was good to include something else in this video, because I got a friend of mine, I think it was Ellery, he mentioned the legendary champions, how many more there are in Raid than in this game. But I'm going to tell you this. The marketplace, the Dwarven Association in this game is so much better than in Raid. So I just burned up all my money. But but you can buy champs in here easily. You can get gems in here, like the summoning gems, like the summoning shards. You can get them directly in here for like 70, which is really cheap in this game because you can get them so easily. Okay, let's see. I got 13 right now. I don't have a bunch of gems. I need more gems. I pulled some earlier. Look at that. Rare champions. I can get rid of them and get gems back. Look at that. Another 90. Now I'm at 103. The stuff I just had in the shop that I couldn't buy with gems, now I can buy. If I want to refresh, I can refresh here. And of course, I'm just burning the money right here. Look at that. Rare summoning thing right here, 70. While we're talking, I'm just gonna like just an example. It's not as, yeah, I thought it was gonna be something odd. You know it's gonna be a rare. Come on now. It's still a gacha game. But you know, right. But that's an example. It's easy to get rewards in this game. There's an area in this game called Tide. I played it for a good while. When it first came out, it wasn't that great. But it is literally free resources. Look at this. You can do like 3 of these a day. Look at the rewards. Gems, you get dust, which is basically a way to level up your champion's abilities. And then these little feet thing, I think they're feet, that gives you peak talents in Tide to make Tide easier. Before it's literally every day you do this 3 times a day, it's 120 extra gems. Or whatever other rewards you get, which are like these things right here, which is every hero soulstone, different video. You guys don't care about that yet. You want to hear the basic stuff. And let's get into the second part of this list. I included the marketplace, so that kind of makes it the third, but let's just call this the second for consistency. Classes matter. In this game, classes are much more important than in Raid Shadow Legends. You can build a champ to do anything. In this game, you really got to stick to the classes they're in. So there's 5 different classes. You have your defenders, which are the ones that basically hold the line. They specialize in blocking and saving the shard. They keep enemies from getting to the last place where they have to reach in the tower defense to make you lose, basically. So they specialize in blocking more enemies, blocking more villains, you know, making it harder for them to get through. So they'll hold like 3 things. They'll block like 3 enemies, and you can make it like to 4. Some of them can do even 5, which is really great because then it allows your other champs to do what they do well, which is typically doing damage or assisting. Marksman is usually your longest range champs. They typically focus on single targets. There's a few like Nyx, you know, that really does a lot of AoE damage, which is really good. But you know, they typically, for the most part, are single target hitters. You know, they hit the hardest, hit the biggest targets, and can do really good damage on single ones. And then you have like your next one, which are your mages. Mages are more like your AoE damage dealers primarily. There's a few like Shamir and different champs like that that do more specifically to one champ, or I think there's one called Azoth. Let's get right here. Yeah, he really specializes in hitting one champion over and over again, one enemy over and over again, and doing good damage, which is really good. But for the most part, if you get mages, you're getting something that works with groups, which is awesome. Next, you have your fighters, which are your ground level attackers. It's one of my favorites in the game. She's dope and she does really high damage, but this is the ones that do damage on the ground. So, you know, your marksmen may be occupied with shooting something in the sky. Your other ones, maybe your mages may be doing AoE damage, but they can't do really quick damage to a single target, they're just doing group damage. Fighters are really good because they stop the enemies from going forward if they're on the ground and do damage right there. So they're really, really useful. And in many cases, I've noticed they do some of the best damage in this game. I want to get this champion Salazar that has an ult, which I'm going to get to next, and literally just kills 5 things nearby. It's just immediately, it's amazing. It's great. And next you have your healers. So this is what's interesting about healers. Don't judge me. I actually like this guy. I'm going to tell you why. But because there's another champion in this game called Idril, and she has unlimited range. That's 2 areas down. Unlimited range. She can hit any enemy on the board as an ultimate. It's wonderful. But the benefit of most healers are to keep your team afloat, you know, heals, buffs, and rage regen. A really good example of this is a champion named Hollow. She does heal, she heals the enemy team, and there's big ranges that these champions have. So on the board, the white spot is where she's at. All the blue spots or the hollow spots are areas that she can reach. So with her abilities, she's able to do heals. She's able to give you rage regen, which is basically your ability to level up your meter, which allows you to do your ults more often, more rapidly, which makes your team stronger, better for the most part. And buffs, like some of them, you know, give you, an increase in damage or an increase in speed, things that really help support the team. So there's no one defender that's going to make this game, or that's going to just solo the content for you. There's no one marksman that can do that. There is a few mages, and actually there's a few fighters, but that's usually for earlier game content. But don't be too inundated on that. Pull those summons, get those champs now. Next one. This is a big issue from Raid into this one. In Raid, I never ever, listen to me, I never ever switched to gear. I never ever switched gear on champs. If it was on a champ, it was on a champ. I might have switched it once a month. It's not changing. In this game, gear swapping is 100% free, which means you can take gear from one champ, put it on the next one in a heartbeat. Doesn't take but like 10 seconds. Matter of fact, no, hold on a second. Let me go in here because they just made it easier. So if I had, let's find 2 marksmen. So I have Silas and I have Nyx right here. I want the gear that Nyx has on Silas, right? I'm going to click gear. I'm going to click swap. Boom. I just switched it. Now, of course, it's not a good on him because they're a little unique in what abilities they have. But oh man, I made a mistake. I want to switch that back. It costs $0.00, and I just switched over 5 pieces of gear. Now, the reason why I say that this is good because this is where I wanted to get some in-game content for those who've been watching. I appreciate you for watching. This is a really good strategy for you to know even early game and getting, level up into the game. An in-game strat, I've given it a name. It probably has a name already, but I call it gear glitching. And that's where you do exactly what I just did. You have a champion that is well built with really good gear, but you're not using them for a certain piece of content. What you do is you give that gear to another one of your champions that is necessary to beat that content. You beat that content, and then you go back and you swap back to the original gear and you run what's called power of dominance, which is basically, in a nutshell, it's kind of like a nail in the coffin to guarantee you win it from here on out. It's not 100% reliable, but when you're normally doing this, like look right here. See that little emblem up here in the top? That means power of dominance is enabled. And what that does is that adds a 30% boost of stats to all of your champions. So that champion that you just had that had subpar gear, and then you gave him amazing gear, and you beat the raid or you beat the mission or whatnot, and you switch them back to like 20% less gear. They're still getting a giant boost, and then you just run a mission and see if it succeeds. And when it succeeds, boom, you don't have to put that champion in that gear anymore, and you just beat another level and got you up and above, which helps you advance and get more of the better gear as you progress. Why is that important? Gear Raid 3 is the only one that I've gotten to 19 to. 19 to 21 in these gear raids for like your gear 1, 2, and 3 are really where you start to get the sweet spot and really good gear in this game. I managed to get to that because I did the gear glitching option. So I built a whole bunch of different champs. One of them was built way better than the other ones. I took the gear from, I think it's from Nick. No, not from Nick's. From Cerberus. I took the gear from Cerberus and put it on, what was her name? I just mentioned her. I just mentioned Idril. I took the gear from Cerberus and put it on Idril because they both have this, you know, they have the curse gear on. That's long story. We don't have to get into that. It's a gear set. But she was able to beat it with that, and then I switched the gear back, and now I can run 19 on that, and I can get high level gear just because I did that extra gear swap. If you came from Raid Shadow Legends, you would not do this because you do not like taking gear off. I mean, it's like a celebration when gear removal is free in that game. And then your inventory is so full, you can't move anything. So look, it's traumatic, but we're past it. We're past it. So next up to know in this game that is really important are called your ults and your lord skills. So your ults are basically anything that you do. Every champ has an ult. As far as I know, every champion has an ult. An ult is a special ability that they have that's unique, that kind of helps them, you know, like their special attack. You know, Silas does, you know, ignores, you know, defense and resistance and stuff like that. Well, there's no resistance in this game too, or accuracy. You plan a debuff, it lands too. Sorry, I had to put that in there because I know the feeling. But in this game, your ultimates are basically like your really special abilities. Like, what does your champion do really, really great? Like, that's usually typically their ultimate, except for Olaf. Don't use his ultimate. You'll learn when you get him. But the good thing about these is it's unique to each champion. It's your special ability. It's an awesome thing that they do. That's usually the bread and butter as to why you pick that champion. I mentioned earlier, Idril. One of the coolest ults in the game. I'm going to just show it just to show it. It's called Limitless Shots. I want you to just read that. The range becomes unlimited. Attack a single enemy 3 times, each time is doing 80% attack damage. The effect lasts for 25 seconds. Then there's Awakenings, which means that every time she gets killed, she gets more of the energy back, so she can keep doing it. It'll last a crazy long time. But this is an example of an ultimate. Her regular attacks usually have like a range of like, I think it's like a 3x4. You'll see it here. Oh, button there. Yeah, so that's her normal range. When she does Limitless Shots, it is literally the entire map. The entire map. She can shoot any enemy on the entire map. She usually prioritizes whichever one is closest to making you lose or getting closest to like the main area. Sometimes she prioritizes the boss, but experiment with that. It's usually not RNG. It is usually a certain enemy that she goes after. But that's an example of an ultimate. Lore skills are a whole different story. So this is the first lore that I pulled. I'll tell you, the first champ that I put was Regulus. I thought I was doing something nice because I saw the video come up and I saw him like block, you know, fireballs and stuff. And I was like, oh, he's about to be a beast. I thought it was Leorius from Raid Shadow Legends. Nope. He can, and you know, he can stay alive, but he don't do no damage. But he's a defender. He's not supposed to. But lore skills. Here's what's really beneficial about them. Lore skills, there's certain champions in this game called Lord Champions. And you can always tell because they have like a little crown on their icon over here on the left, and they have a little icon in the skill area that says the Lord skill. So one thing that's cool about this guy, he gives everybody on the team shields rapidly. And the more champions you have in the same faction, the more shields he gives. Wonderful way to keep your champions alive in case they're just getting hit here and there. There's a lot of other amazing Lord skills. Last game I played, forgive me y'all, I'm still leveling her up. I think she's down here. I haven't even done anything except promotions with her. Her Lord skill, read the bottom half. Faction allies attack ranges are also increased. So if there is, I pulled this new guy right here. It's a legendary, it's really cool. Kai. Look at this range right here. Just so you see it. That's a pretty far range for a marksman. Now with the increased attack range, it goes one more up, which is huge in this game. It's a lot of distance cover. And the best part about Lord skills is you don't have to deploy the champions for them to work. Unless it's an attack specific, like they come out on the map and they have to do an attack for it to work, like Pyros, for example, you don't have to even deploy them. You could just keep them in your list of champions you have on your roster and never bring them out, and the Lord skill keeps working. I can't tell you how many times when I first started playing this and I had King Hars, and I would literally just keep them in a team. I didn't even have him built up yet. He was like level 40 and like 3-star promotion. No, he was a promotion enough to do his thing. But he just kept giving the team shields. And early in the game, throughout getting to it, like making and whatnot, it was wonderful because my champs always had a little bit more tankiness, which made it easy to get through content. That's a lot of words. But that gives you an example of like your ults and what the heck is that loud noise? Oh well, your ults and your Lord Talons. They are essential in this game. If you get a Lord, it's really useful because they can work in a lot of your content. It's really helpful. Next, and this is one that I know is a little bit more on the iffy side for people that play these games. This is a gacha game. So the one thing that gacha games, the big goal of gacha games is to make money. Let's just be real. There's free to play and there's fun stuff in the game. And this game has a lot of good free to play options. A lot of stuff you could do without spending a dime on it. If, and I'm not suggesting that you just go do this. I'm just saying if you were to. If you were saying, hey, I want to get something in this game. I want the best bang for my buck in this game. What would I get? Easily, hands down, going over to the, right here, privilege card. It's $10. Not worried about the cost or not. I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Over here, gear raid, promotion raid, the last two, extra random drops. I'm gonna drop a video in here to show the benefits of that. Okay, so I got an example here. I'll play this here. This is 33 runs. This is what you typically get in runs. They also give you gems back now and they give you energy back now. But you see additional rewards. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of gear, additional pieces of gear. It's usually a little bit more than that, which is awesome. But that was all the stuff I got. And I got extra stuff for like the demon things and whatnot, but extra energy back. Like, come on, man. Seriously. Does raid give you energy back for running missions? For running events? No. Let's be real here. Let's be honest about that. But yeah, that was just cool. Pack included. Back to you guys. Extra random drops. Basically means when you do a run, there's a chance you'll get more of the stuff that you got as a reward. It is amazing because you're essentially getting, now you're not getting double, but let's say you did 50 runs, you might get 50 rewards and then you might get an extra like 15 to 20 rewards. That means that's 15 to 20 runs you didn't have to do. And the 3.5 speed is good. Yeah, it's in this game. I mean, it's behind the, well, technically it's not behind the paywall. The privilege card is a 3.5 times speed increase, but through the storyline, you can get a 3 times increase. It's just in the game. It's free. You just play the game for a while and you unlock 3 times speed when you beat a level. And you just can play it at 3 times speed. Auto runs. It's nice. It's great. The monthly cards are good too. I wouldn't suggest those be the first thing you get. I think those are cool to get. I think the summoner one's good because it lets you get some champs early. Sure. And your stamina one, of course, not bad at all. But we talked about the marketplace earlier. The benefit of that is you can buy champs in here. You can get gear in here. You can get stuff from your guild shop when you join a guild. Do not buy any monsters until you get, until they update that, which I think is coming this week, which is great. Arena shop, you play arena. Every day you get a huge stamina, 200 energy, and you just play a couple of arena matches. Even if you lose, you get points for that. It's wonderful. I don't think raid gives you any points for losing. Well, welcome to a little bit less trauma in this gacha game. Awakening shop, you don't have to worry about this yet. I'll make another video for it later, but basically you won't be touching this shop for at least a month. At least a month, unless you out here just freewheeling it, wheeling it up. Then you'll touch this shop. This is where you crunch champs and then you get the rewards or the currency for them and do other stuff in it. You don't need this yet. But I wanted to make this because I played Raid Shadow Legends and you end up kind of getting into a vibe of how you do things in the game. And you get into another game and you don't even think about trying the other stuff in it because you're like, oh, it's probably gonna have that. Probably gonna have this. It's okay. It's okay. I wanted to make this because people who played Raid Shadow Legends like myself. The first game I played for 3.5 years was Raid. I think it's great. It's got a lot of options, but when the game's made for that long and runs for that long, it begins to have some issues that you run into. The cool thing about this game is it's relatively new. It had its global launch this year. So if you want to have some really good options and just enjoy yourself, this is a really good game to do that. So I wanted to put this out here as, you know, it's not a love letter. It's just a special thanks to those, you know, a special tribute to those that have played gacha games, played Raid Shadow Legends, and wait, how do I full screen that? There we go, messed it up, sorry. And they're not used to this experience yet. This is a cool game, it's fun. And like I said before, I think I said in the first video, if there's content that you've seen and you like it and you want to get my take on it, or you're like, hey, what do you know about this champion or whatnot, I will tell you this. I will do my best to give that information. I will tell you this though, with due respect, I got to give props to somebody like Sprinklebeard when it comes to talking about a single champion, what they can do. This man will spend 20 to 40 minutes breaking down the content. I don't know if as many content creators just give hats off to people. I ain't taking my hat off because I got to get a haircut. But give hats off to people. But there's people that do amazing stuff in this game. And I think I'm going to make a video giving special shout outs to different content creators also. I think that's the right way to go about it. But this has been Mortar Mike. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Drop a like, drop a sub. Let me know if I missed something that you think is really important coming from Raid into this game that people need to know. Drop it in there. I might have to make, I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna have to make a part 2 because there's a lot of stuff that's important to me that may not be important to the next person. Like, I did mention Tide. Yeah, Tides are free rewards. But yeah, y'all have fun. Have a good time. See you next video. Take care.